Gonna make sure working right. Bear with me for 1 second. I messed with a bunch of things last night or today. I just want to make sure I'm not everything's working. So, bear with me for a quick moment. Pipe, that helps. Tough thing. Playing Enshrouded. Yep, we did that. Wow, 6 followers, 2 subs. Let's get it tonight, everybody. Oh, wait. Saving? Maybe it is. Weird. Wow, 6. Last thing. Last. Okay. I think everything's working. Bit of overlap there. Sorry if for everyone on that. Struggles of trying to get better at content creation. You screw things up really bad and then you got to make sure they're fixed. So if there's any issues with audio or anything, please let me know. I think everything was working properly, but we will just see. Oops, what happened there? Pressed the wrong button and 100 things popped up on my screen. Okay, what did we do off stream? Yesterday I spent the day organizing all the blocks. Some of them are a little funny. It's not a perfect system, unfortunately. But for the most part, they all work. I might make some like small adjustments to some of this stuff. Let me in. Going like, I don't know. That any better? Kind of looks like a roof, so I don't know. We'll see. Actually, that was the wrong one anyways. It's, some of the stuff displays really well, and some of it's a little more difficult to tell. But the nice thing is you can just grab a block and be like, oh, okay, that's what that is, and just undo it real fast. So you quickly know about the most efficient way I've seen anyone do it. I've seen other people do it this way, so I'm just kind of mimicking and copying it with my own layout. But it's worked pretty well so far. A couple of them, like this one, like creates this huge weird thing that goes down. Some of them are like it only shows the right, so I think the voxel system works left to right from the way I've understood it so far. There's some weird stuff, but it's getting the idea across, so I'm all right with it. And the nerve-wracking part is like I have 8 slots for blocks left. This is all the terrain and roads, so when they add they added like 2 in the last one, so that's 1 update, 2 update, but then like maybe 2 because they added another 2 roofs, I think. So like we're gonna run out of space really fast because they added roads and snow and ice, so like it's a lot of stuff. I also slowly started organizing this stuff. Got it out of that kind of front plaza area that we were working on. So it still has to be organized. I didn't have the patience yesterday to actually like go through and legitimately organize. So I kind of just tossed everything in some chests. Because I have a lot of random stuff. I didn't even get all the stuff over at my like starter base area. There's still some random garbage over there too. But we are getting there. I need to fix the lighting in here. Is another thing. I just have random torches everywhere. So that needs to be more organized since it's pretty much done. I also want to design a better place for this crafting bench. This is where I want it, but it doesn't look good. So I don't think I've seen anyone like make a crafting bench look cooler to date. So not totally sure how that's going to work. It's kind of weird because it doesn't feel like you even really need it. Like the villagers are way more useful overall, so it's kind of like useless. So I'm not totally sure. Unless we like do something funky and like pull this out and then design something more around it or bring the ceiling down. I don't know. We have to find something more interesting. And then the cool part that we did, I spent today, I'm working on a new video. I've got it kind of scripted out. Still have some work to do on that. And then I'm trying to figure out like the different types of footage I want to use, because I'm going to use some like speed build. I have a new sort of idea for a little filming stop motion sort of technique to do this one specific effect. But the video is going to be how to make your your bases more creative by using storytelling or something along. That's the lame version of it. I've got to actually come up with the legit name, but essentially it's going to be a video on how to build better bases using storytelling, because I feel like that's a major part of my building technique. It's also something I've seen in a lot, like Luderav and some of the other builders in the community tend to use story building and stuff. And I think that's what separates a lot of the really interesting builds from the cool builds. Like, it's kind of a video for like helping people that don't know how to build basic things understand storytelling from an architecture or an architect's perspective. And then it's also a way of taking that functional mentality and changing that to a more creative thought process. Where you go from building a castle to building a story that is around a castle. And that's sort of, a lot of this Enshrouded build is going to start leading towards that as we get a little further. And that is what I spent building today. It's my time building today, since we built this in last night's stream, or Monday's stream, which turned out phenomenal. I'm really happy with this. Still a lot of work to do, especially in this whole room, but we're heading the right direction. And then when you talk about storytelling, I haven't done this part yet, but the idea is that, as I've said, the shroud is taking over and slowly corrupting this space because you looted this chest, which is part of one of the missions in the game, or the quests, and then that sort of ties into the city itself. And that opening of this chest, oh jeez, you're gonna die. Okay, that opening of that crypt or tomb is has released the shroud within the city, and because of the placement of the flame altar, which is your protection essentially from the shroud, it's also your building area in that. But the idea is kind of that the flame altars protect you. It's directly, my flame altar, as you can see, is directly over that tomb, which is just in this area. You can't zoom in further. They're slightly off, but it's good enough. And so I did a speed build today, just recorded myself building, but we built out our new flame altar. And I am super happy with this. It was really fun. I think I have some fun little film ideas that I'm going to run through with it that I've been working on. That's the thing up here, so I can take some recordings without them like moving. And so it's going to help tell the story in the video. And so I did a speed build, and all that footage is going to go in that video, as well as maybe some other stuff from maybe some different games. I'm not necessarily going to tie it just to Enshrouded, but I think a lot of it will be focused around that. I think you can do a better job than most games in Enshrouded storytelling with all the craziness they have. Like, the insane level of detail you can just simply add to things is nuts. And I like the story of the game too, so I think it's very fitting. Can't get it. Sorry. The struggles of having big hairy dog. There we go. Jeez. Drive me nuts. So I'm not totally done with this portion. I focused more on these other sides just because they are what's actually being seen in the video. I'm also not sure if I recorded it. What's up, Grim? How's it going? Let me know if everything sounds good. I messed with a bunch of stuff in OBS for the recording side, and I'm hoping that I didn't screw anything up on the Twitch or YouTube side for streaming. But as I was saying, what's up, Hostway? How's it going? We built this off stream, working on a new little video. And this is kind of the story and idea that I've been building out for a while in my head. So I will, once I have the next video finished and uploaded, you'll see the speed build of this thing. Things are all right so far. No noticeable change. Perfect. That's the goal. I'm just slowly building this out as much as I can. Quite happy with it so far, though. It's turning out really cool. Oops. So we will sort of look sick. Love it. Thank you, thank you. I'm really happy with it. Still stuff to finish, but we're headed in the right direction. And at night, dude, oh, it looks so cool at night because this glows at night. So it looks insane. That's like my favorite part about the whole thing. It's a work in progress. I'm still trying to figure out the terrain and still trying to figure out the terrain blocks and stuff. They're a little difficult to manipulate at times. But I wanted to work on this a little bit in stream. There we go. Come on. Just to continue the fun, because I was really enjoying the build earlier today. There. I was like, what is happening? Loving the, like, spread effect. It looks way cooler at night, though. Everything glows. We just kind of have to figure out the kind of final details and stuff. But the idea is then this will all corrupt and go up this hillside, which will then take over the castle. Speaking of night, one question I haven't asked. Please tell me Enshrouded has a slider for adjusting light rendering? No. There's, like, gamma, I'm assuming, is what you're saying. As far as I know, there's no gamma settings. It's like the one thing that's been driving me nuts is it gets really dark. So there's... You can speed up the night, which is what I've done. Which you have to do off screen or on the main menu. But yeah, there's gotta be better than grounded though. It's just different. I think it's harder to get like useful lighting in this game. But it's also early access, so I'd be surprised if we didn't get some more options like gamma settings and stuff. 'Cause it's a completely custom game engine, so I mean they can add anything they want. It's just how much effort, how much time do they have to put into each thing. That gun. So we'll see. I'm sure we'll get some more stuff like that. I mean, we're getting like first-person camera, so it's like they've got some big stuff. I think they still have yet to add. That will all make a big difference. Okay, put it in the same spot. Good, good. Some of it looks a little chunky is the only thing. like about the terrain stuff, but it's not bad. You get the right effect. It's fine. I was also messing with trees and stuff. And then I deleted them all. Shit, we don't need that. First person coming is nice. Yeah. I prefer third person for fighting and stuff, but I prefer some other options for like building. You really need to have both. You can't just... I gotta do building specifically. You need both. You gotta be able to like switch in between them and stuff. Oh, perfect. This is the first I've done with terrain, or not terrain, the different farm stuff, so we'll see how this all turns out. I have no clue how it works. Just hoping that it works. Or it disappears and dies. What? It worked earlier. Is that not big enough? Guess we'll do a test plot. Tried Nexus mods for reshades? No. I've been trying to just keep it pretty vanilla. I think the less mods, the better, in my opinion. I know they're really cool, and there's already some stuff that's very helpful for the building process, but it doesn't quite turns people off, it seems. And I prefer keeping it as simple as I can as well. What? Why does it just disappear? I don't understand. Why do these stay? Is it like... Okay, well that wasn't the one. I love that. Is that why? Does it need to be like too thick? Uh-huh. Okay, so too thick? Does that work? Hard to say. I'm guessing no, but just needs to be too thick, I guess. That's the only piece. Too close to the wall, I think. Mine do that sometimes. Yeah, it's like, I think too deep and then just slightly further away, but we'll see. I have yet to grow a tree yet, so. Welcome in, by the way, Bill. Bill in Toledo. Hope you're doing good. I've been working too much with the build materials and not enough with the decorations and all that. So I'm just now getting into some of the landscaping stuff. You figure out how I want to like detail this. Kind of thinking like cutting a corner here. What's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My brain. Hello? Do that. We'll see. It's coming together, right? I'm happy with how it's turning out. It's fun. We still have a lot of detailing to do, but it was a good start. It was a fun little like speed build video to do. I'm just waiting for the night. I have the day set to way longer, so I don't have to worry about cycling day and night constantly. So it takes forever to get to night, which is what I actually want to see. Too deep seems to work. Just Bill here. Toledo went night-night. Sounds good. Get rid of this. There. I think I want to just cut these corners a little bit, but I liked the idea of making it a little more round. And then these are sort of landscape places that are getting corrupted slowly. Should have tried... I used moss. Is this any good? Why does it look the same? Did I maybe be small? I'll look the same. Barely. I guess you could just pop in some flowers here and there. Wow, it takes up so much space. Kind of weird. Might have to be more specific about how I do that stuff. Cutting corners? Literally cutting corners. Whoa, that grew fast. Oh wow, that's already grown. The heck? So fast. Isn't this one grown? I guess I planted it 5 minutes before, maybe. Yeah, what are you thinking, Lude? How are we looking? I might have to redo some of this shroud, the luminescent growth that's like done. I don't know if I recorded the like stop motion thing that I'm trying to do as well as I should have. Got a little carried away and just started doing it, and then I was like, wait, I was supposed to be taking more pictures or more screen recordings of just sitting there to use it in this fun little stop motion. But I still have to record myself doing this whole freaking thing. I ran out of time. So eventually this will kind of do something like that. I think the idea is that like the luminescent growth is sort of taking over the natural area, and it doesn't necessarily take over like this, but since this is built so close, it'll like bridge the gap, I think is kind of what I'm going to try to make it look like. And then it'll be the same, like ripping up through the sides. So I'll dig like a one deep channel, and it'll crawl its way up. And then whenever we actually build the castle, then you'll see the effects of that a little bit better. I need some stairs up there. Yeah, it'll rip up here. Lovely. And then I gotta figure out how to tie it into this build a little bit more. Sort of figuring out my design style in this game, the blocks I really like. And I think I went a little too light on this build. I think I like this sort of darker inset material with the white as like an accent. So I think I'm going to maybe adjust these. I never loved these, but they were working well enough. But I might try to add some more dark highlight or dark details similar to how this is built, since that's where everything inside's done. Natural terrain looks like it's got blue monstrous growth. Yeah, that's the luminescent growth. That's the idea. Since you can't build with the mycelium, that is what is like in the shrouded areas. You can only build with luminescent growth. I just went with luminescent growth because it's kind of also there, and it looks like an infection and corruption, I think, better than the mycelium does. All you can build is like there's a mycelium block like this, like mycelium overgrowth, but there's not actual mycelium, which is weird to me. I was kind of confused why that wasn't also a terrain block, because it feels like it should. You should just mine it from the shrouded areas, but maybe that's just me. But I like this stuff's way cooler because it glows at night. And so like this looks a little out of place at the moment, but at night it looks so freaking cool. Trying to figure out how to do these. I really like the polished granite. So I'm using a lot of that, but I already was using this, so I'm trying to figure out how to make them like meld together a little bit more. Not totally sure yet. Trying to do a round window. What would your recommendation be on being able to do that? I haven't built a round window. I mean, there's like... There are sort of round windows, but the best you could do is like a slightly larger version of this. You can kind of like adjust and maybe do that, fill that block in, but you're essentially building something like that and then putting a window in it. Luminescent growth looks good with the darker, probably better than it would with the white. That's kind of what I'm thinking. It's a little bit more fitting, so I want to include a little bit more of the dark palette. So you can kind of get away with these. Josue, you could like use the round because they'll clip in to whatever you make if you use a big enough window and the right sized hole, I guess, that you make in your wall. They're pretty big though. You could also potentially maybe do like a door, but I haven't made any round windows necessarily. Maybe be able to get away with like a round door or something too. If you don't open it. Round door frames. Oh, there is a round. Oh, I don't even have it. There's like a door like this where it's just a frame. That would be probably the best option. Otherwise, I don't know if there's anything much better than that. Yeah. I guess I don't even have that one out. I mean, I didn't have any plans on using it, so it makes sense why I don't have it with me, but... Oh yeah, I wanted to use some of these. I also might plant some of these, but I haven't quite figured out to make them work right. To add more, since they kind of look like it, but... Love the luminescent block. It is really nice. I mean, I love every block. It's just figuring out which ones look good together and which ones look kind of funky. How to make... Like, I really like the blue, luminescent, and white, and green and stuff, but it's how I have to find better ways to tie them into the build, I think. Is kind of what I'm currently struggling with. Like, these don't look bad. They look really good at night, but during the day, they look like they're just kind of like a weird neon blue light block. But at night, it looks insane. So it's a little weird to kind of figure it all out. If I can place these. Too deep? That'll work. Not sure if that's gonna look... It's not quite right. I don't know if it's gonna look really good bigger. Which part is the armory? Down here. It's sort of connected to the... through the story I'm trying to tell. The flame altar area, but it's down. This will be the armory. This is what we did last stream. Is this like lava pool thing? Well, looky there. Sand? No. Have any sand? Dang it. So we'll be back down here in a little. I'm just wanting to mess with the thing I was working on earlier and then get back to trying to make this armory cooler and cooler. And then if you've been in the Mistberry Catacombs, that's where we're building on. So, just so you are oriented, I broke in just through building this area sort of on accident into the catacomb, which I wanted to do eventually anyways, so I'm now tying this into the build as well. So this will be a very similar effect, that through looting this chest through the quest, the city is now being overrun by the shroud that was released, or luminescent growth. But the infection and corruption is now spreading, so I'm doing a fun little video where this is going to spread all up the wall. You can see it'll spread all up the wall, and then it'll like snake out, and it'll be up on the ceilings and go everywhere. And then I got to finish designing these stairs and stuff. But it worked out perfect that it's like almost perfectly centered on that by accident. It was really fun. And we got a long ways to go down here, but it was really fun. We had a good time last stream getting this worked on. Ludorev gave me the best idea, and then I sent it, and it got even better. Great base pick, I think. How many altars are you going to use? I have 5 currently. You only need 4. It's by far enough to use 4, but I wanted a place to teleport to that wasn't in the mountain. Because those are like placed all even and perfectly spaced. So every inch is covered. There's essentially, if you think of, it's like 16 or 19 foundation blocks. I think it's 19. 19, I think it's 19. 19, it's 160 individual blocks. So then I did the annoying math to get these. I picked the center of this and then went out enough so all of these essentially have one block in the middle that overlaps and then covers the perfect amount, like the entire area here to like here, I think, almost. Because we're going to build this entire thing's going to be covered eventually. So it's a big project. Got a long ways to go. Feels like we're just getting started because this crazy dwarven thing I'm making has gotten so big so fast. What if the luminescent growth snaked through the lava in the armory? It could. Could be interesting. The hard part is then it'll never glow. I think that's the most difficult part with this, is anywhere there's light, the luminescent growth doesn't really glow at all. I guess it kind of does there. Maybe. Originally, I kind of thought of making this luminescent growth, but I think this looks better. It might look kind of funky. Well, it does kind of glow. The only part I don't like for this is like that. The mushrooms are kind of weird here, but it's also kind of cool. Let's see if we can see it from above. Okay, it's kind of cool that it does just glow because we're underground, apparently. The mushrooms are a little funky, though. I could even make it so, like, it's coming out of this area as well. I was trying to figure out what I want to do. That might be a fun way to do this as well. Just kind of like have it come up and around and go into here a bit, because I'm like trying to figure out how to detail this door. The thing would look cool. I've been dreading trying to figure those numbers. What level are the altars? They're all fully upgraded. Max upgrades. So it might make sense to maybe do it through here. I don't know. Could be interesting. Thinking like it sprouted out of the center and snaked up the walls. Oh, interesting. Be like coming out of these guys too. There's so many options. I don't know. This whole story I'm telling like has a lot of potential to just do crazy things. My doorways are not the same size. Are they? I don't know. They're definitely not as tall as one another, but that's fine. I'm going to be messing with that at some point anyways. I do think I like the idea of maybe them snaking out of here. I don't know if they'll quite reach that, but I do like the idea of them kind of snaking out of those halls. Get up here. Are those campfires under the sand? They are the... it's one of the braziers. It's like the really rough metal, like the worst looking brazier with all the metal, bent metal and stuff on the front of it. I was wondering what it looked like under here. Sick. Should probably make a trail out of here so I can navigate this stuff. I can show you which ones they are, the braziers. They're the ones that produce the most light, or the most fire, these ones. These? I think these produce the biggest flame out of the smallest object. And you can use that for, like, as simple as a fireplace. Like, they have some pre-built ones, but if you want to make your own, just use these braziers. They work really well for the fire effect. They're the most consistent. They work really well. That's what they are here as well. I need sand. I need sand to fix this. And then it's just sand is the block that I use. What? Is it this one? That's the one. I'm gonna go fix that one piece I noticed I was missing. It's really easy. It's a little finicky. You just have to figure out what the right height is. Because if they're one lower, you can't really see it, and if they're higher, they stick out. So it's figuring out the right height, and then from there, it's pretty simple overall. Not very difficult to do. It just takes a little finagling to get it to sort of be the right texturing and stuff. I haven't messed with this very much. The ones upstairs, I did more of a like up and down, and I kind of built some mounds and stuff to kind of make it more liquid-like. But this one, I don't know, kind of looks pretty good. So I'm not too worried about it. We'll see. And then there's really hard to see, but there are torches inside these ones. For some reason, the left side is easier to see than the right. Couldn't tell you why. Yeah, the right side of the flame is harder to see, but it's like right in the middle. And then there's going to be like little cavities or whatever in the wall here around the whole thing for all the armor pieces, and then up top as well. Which we still have some work to do on. Just a bit. Built my builds a little too close together on accident. It's fine. How many items you think you will have displayed? I'm still digging out my mega build. It's 5 flames right now. Holy cow, with a 6 to add once it's dug out a bit more. Dang, that's huge. How many items you think you will have displayed? However many armor sets there are. So everything. If it'll fit in here. I'm gonna have to do some work to figure out how to make it fit right, but I think we'll be able to fit all of them. There's a lot. But I've looked at some other like armory things that are really cool, and so it'll be like in the wall there'll be armor sets, and then maybe in the ground or up front like the little weapon displays that they have that look really cool. Some combinations, I don't know. I got a lot of ideas to keep thinking through so we figure out the final details for everything. Many things going on in my brain. It's been nice though. I'm just kind of like jumping around, building whatever sounds fun. It's like the fun part about being not super far in a mega build, but far enough that the details are starting to come together, is you can just kind of like go nuts. Wish you could add weapons to a weapon rack kind of deal to give something else to do with extras. Is there not? If this is a modded one. There's weapon stands. I'm like 95% sure there's weapon stands. Maybe more than that. I might be 99% sure there's weapon stands. How you get them, I don't know yet, but I've seen them. Like this is fairly pointless to detail out, but it looks kind of cool, so I'm doing it. Real question is, how many poses are there? Dude, there's a lot already. Here. Let's see. So I do use a resource world to get the materials because I don't have endless time. As far as I know, you absolutely can. This is a vanilla resource world. I mean, I'm sure they spawn the items in, but it's not like using mods to build it. I believe it's these. So like there's these weapon stands. There's, if you can see right here, there's little weapon mounts, shield mounts. And there's about... So it actually shows you all the different moves, which you will love. They're already built in for you, Lude. So you just have to come in and take the mannequins you want that are already posed. Yeah, here. Those are all the different weapon. There's a lot. Holy cow. There's more than I even thought. Dang. That's a lot of weapon stands. Any ideas? Yeah, shield rack? Eat. Sure, we'll just grab all those. That hold multiple weapons? Ah. I don't believe there's one that holds multiple, but I mean... all you really have to do, since you have complete freedom, is like put another one next to it, or I think you could put two right next to each other, essentially. So are you thinking like you want like two swords crossed or something? I'm just trying to think of what you'd even do with one that holds multiple weapons. That's all you really have to do is put a bunch of them next to each other. Be cool if they had some like vertical ones versus horizontal and stuff. It's like, who wants to look at their daggers like that? How boring. Just be better if you could have weapons with the armor to look like soldiers. I guess I'm curious. Let's see. I've not messed with any of this very much, but yeah, it's a little too big. Yeah. Look at that. You just put your weapon right there and it's like perfect, right? Oh yeah, there is one. It's out here, isn't it? Yeah. Where's a ladder? How do I get up? Yeah, so I mean, you got this one. Not perfect. Ah, sword and shield. I want dual wield swords. Not daggers, swords. Two one-handed swords. That's my style of build. But, I mean, you got a lot of poses for you there, Lude. So far. I'm assuming this is all of them. But that's just, like, right now. Yeah, you must build each one individually at the moment. Surprised they don't add in just like what Grounded did, where you just switch it. It's a lot easier. Lots of weapons. I definitely have a lot too. Oh, these. Whoa. That looks cool. not as good as the stuff I already have, but dual wield hatchets, that would be cool too. So I got daggers, so I mean hatchets would essentially just fall within the same world. Easy enough, I'd assume. I mean, I can't imagine that we're not going to get many other styles of weapons and combat since we're still in early access and they added a bunch of that stuff last update. Just not sure if we're getting mostly building in this next update or what. Is this... Palm wood. I remember that. The palm wood looks a lot better than I thought it did. Fancy stone. Interesting. There's just so many details with all the little blocks you can do. It's nuts. So many endless... It's just endless combinations. It's insane. Every material can work together differently. No, my backpack's full. Whatever. Can't grab anymore. Might have to do your new base tour, Lude, just to get some more footage for this new video I want to make. I was talking about it, the reasoning behind that luminescent growth taking over is in part because that's what I want to build, but I'm using this concept in my video for how to use storytelling and building to make more interesting and creative builds. And I'm not sure I want to keep it just with Enshrouded. I might toss in some other games and footage, and some new stuff wouldn't hurt. Not too late today? Good. It's about time. Welcome in, Uzin. How you doing? No empty chest? Okay. We'll just toss those in there. Actually, let's just do this. Since, let's be honest, I'm gonna put them down there. I might as well put them down there. I'll mess with that. Put my little chest of my things down here. Well, I don't have to keep everything in my inventory. Good enough. Whatever you need, yeah, I need to do that video. Got too many things, you know? I'm like, I need to focus on getting one video done instead of thinking of every video I want to do at the same time. It's very easy to get lost in it. Just start going crazy. See. Oops. Yeah, just go up there. See, this is where first person would be really nice. It's so hard to place these things sometimes. I keep seeing people use... It's not horrible. It doesn't fit amazingly. I wonder if I should check out the roof locks. I'll show off the lily koi as well, but I almost want to try and finish it first. You're like me. You got too many builds going at the same time, man. roofs over here. Duh. Gotta be the granite stuff. There we go. But, I mean, if you do it, I'm gonna lurk. I gotta try and get some sleep back at it in the morning. Sounds good, man. If you want to do the videos, or if you want to do the builds, I will do the videos anytime. It's kind of cool. Not sure if I like it more or not, though. So YouTube short Enshrouded posted that first-person building is coming. Yep. Yes, it is. Quite excited about that. It'll be very nice to have. It's like my biggest critique at the moment is it can be painstaking to get blocks correctly placed in those like close-up situations. Wish I could control the overhang better. I don't really want this overhang. But I don't hate the extra detail. I've not used these roof blocks like at all, so got some experimenting to do. Kind of interesting too. Almost just all I want is for that to go away. Just the little overhang. I don't need that. I just want the little extra details or to like slide up slightly. Hopefully they make a hot deposit from inventory. Dude, that would be game changing. First person, which they're already doing, having a free cam, not like a building free cam, but something to allow for the ability to fly around, picture mode, whatever it is. There needs to be something to allow you to take footage easier. I hate having to use this mod to turn off everything and be able to fly around and like have an orbital cam to do good footage with. I very much dislike having to do that. I think games, especially building games, should make it exponentially easier to make content on them. I don't know if the tombstone thing might be too much. Alright, now you get to see it. Finally, we're out here at night. I mean, look at that. It's so much cooler at night. Oh, the little mushroom glows too. That's sick. Dude, it looks so good at night though. It's worth it not being like the coolest thing in the world during the day, because holy cow, at night it's so sick. I love the luminescent block. And it, like with the blue as well, like so cool. And then you think like this is going to be going up the mountain as well, all the way up like there, and then there's gonna be a castle with this like underneath it and like making it float and look crazy. It's gonna be sick. So sick. So cool. Very excited with how this is coming together. Okay, well my experiment is now done with these. Hello? Okay, good. Gets rid of them. I was like, please go away, tree. I've got like literally 50k rough stone blocks all over from mining out different areas that I keep taking breaks from and going back to 19 down, 19 up. It's been hell, but it'll be good. It's worth, I mean, as you can see, I spent ages digging this whole thing out. So I do know the feeling, but it's not that big. Mine's big, but it's not six flame altars big at the moment. It's just pretty big. We mined out a decent amount, but definitely nowhere near the same amount. I'm more like 100k at this point, just made another 15k like nothing, and it's gone already. It's a struggle. It's like my worst hotel nightmare. It's kind of the idea. It's definitely not supposed to be appealing. But I'm very happy with how it's turning out. I don't know how I feel about these roof blocks yet. That's the struggle. Sort of want this like open altar, but also semi-closed and covered, and just trying to figure out like what's too much detail, what's not enough. We're close though. I mean, we're definitely getting there. Must have accidentally gone over this. Trying to clean everything up. Terrain blocks are definitely interesting at times. I did need to do like some of this growing out like this way too. Oops. There we go. Fix these little kind of details. Very chunky. Not bad, but doesn't quite feel great. Doesn't feel as good as the rest, at least. It doesn't need to wrap all the way around. Hard to say. What's up, Base Legend? How's it going? How's it going? Words. Could just... Going good over here, though. We are having fun. I'm really enjoying this build so far. Alright, this tree is a lot bigger than I thought it was. It's not necessarily bad. I'm gonna need to do some, like, planter boxes here or something. I don't know. Or landscaping. Details are what's gonna make this whole area look a lot better, but we definitely are gonna have to rework this exterior. It's far too... There's way too much polished white block. It's like too much of a contrast between this, which is definitely the style I want to go with moving forward. Can't wait for proper red bricks. The lava bricks in places like the spooky grave would be nice. Until then it's sand though, which looks good. The lava bricks in places like the spooky grave would be nice. Lava bricks. Then they're like this red brick? This one? No. Which one is it? I can't tell. Is it this? Fired bricks? I can't remember where I put any of this stuff. Oh, this one. Like the fired bricks? Or what do you mean? Or are you saying like a red brick, sort of like the luminescent blue and green ones? It'd be a nice extra color to add. What are you working on tonight? We're continuing some of this flame altar that I'm working through, and the armory that I have downstairs that I started. Well, I didn't start it last stream, but we did some fun stuff last stream with it, so just kind of continuing on that. Wherever the wind takes us is kind of what it feels like. I'm like in between so many different parts of this build and keep jumping around. Definitely feels better to be maybe a little more rounded, and then I probably need to build some type of little exterior wall for this. Ground it. Wait. Dang it. not that they really look that different, but they do. The two granite blocks do look just enough different that I gotta make sure they're the same. No, the red glowing lava like the red shroud, dude, that would be insane. Honestly, if the red shroud was a block, I would probably use that instead of the blue luminescent growth. Because then it really ties in with this whole crazy thing I got going on. Since that's such a big part of this already. It fits the story perfect. The red going up would look insane. And I do like the idea, since I'm already using like lava. I found this random image on the internet of a little, kind of looks like the flame altar in the game. Just a little circle plinth thing with like a red molten lava, and it looks extremely similar to that, the red shroud. And I was like, dude, if I could make my flame altar that would be sick. But I didn't want to do this lava effect outside, and then I was like, the shroud makes the luminescent growth would be really interesting too. But yeah, last stream base we did this. Let me up. We built all of that. Did a little cleanup and then got into this craziness. It was really fun. Turned out really cool. And I've seen a couple people use these for like fountains, and I was like, dude, but lava. They are perfect. And then the heads fit perfectly into what I already had built, like these little, I was just randomly like clearing these out, and then they fit perfect. It was like one of those times everything comes together. It was good. Yeah, the red shroud would be awesome as well, but it probably wouldn't work as a buildable since it would essentially kill you being too close, but it doesn't. Because if you're in a base, the red can't kill you because you're protected. So it's actually perfect. As long as it's within your build zone, you're totally fine. Issue is when you get out and you're in shroud. Oh, how is this place not enshrouded? This whole time I've been killing myself down here because everywhere else you're enshrouded. That's so random. Yeah, I randomly did that. Did this. I fell in here the other night and was like, oh, okay, well, I'm stuck because there's no shroud. And then I randomly figured out that if you leave there, you die. But I could have teleported under this stupid bridge. I didn't realize that that wasn't an enshrouded area. Thank you, base. Thank you. It turned out really cool. It was definitely, I have to give credit where credit is due. Ludorev gave me a couple ideas that, like, the combination of both of our thoughts were, like, exactly what the build needed. It's like his idea exploded my idea, and then it, like, it just went crazy. Circle's fine. They definitely need landscaping, yeah. Might have to add more little shrubs or something. What does foliage? I haven't used the foliage very much either. Definitely, oh, this is probably the way to go. We can do it right. I haven't messed with this much. It's hard to like. If we do like a bigger block, like one of those. Sort of a shrubbish. It's like shrub adjacent. Why does that one look so good? What is happening here? Why does this one look like a bush and the rest don't? We'll see. But definitely need to keep progressing on this build, as this is kind of a main portion of my the next video I want to make. Except I might have to redo all of the shroud, or just kind of have it be subpar from what I was hoping for the video I'm thinking through. Did a bunch of like still recordings of me slowly growing the shroud out, and I'm gonna make them into like a little stop motion. Is the hope. I've never made a stop motion, so we'll see. I don't think I made enough images to properly make a stop motion, so it might be like a really quick spread, and then when it goes up there, I'll make that maybe better or something. We'll have to see. Okay, I definitely don't think the tombstone is working. And it's 100%. Oh, no, that's the right one, isn't it? It's the other one that's even bigger. It looks really cool from this angle. Like, I just don't like how... Like, I like it from here. I don't like it from, like, here. I just don't like that little nub that sticks out. But it's, like, not bad either. The detail is really nice. Oh, I wanted to try... This is where I also want to start adding more details. I've done, like, some decor in these areas. Some little things. But I want to start implementing more decorations and stuff, because that's where this game's insane. Actually, it's wall hangings. Could be cool. I think the blue is the way to go. We will see, though. Gotta be the long. It's not bad. How big are these? Might look kind of cool on these sides. Of course, they never want to clip to the center. Definitely the details that I want to get, like, I want to start adding to these builds. It's the decorations in this game are freaking insane so far, and I can only imagine we're just getting a lot more. Can't see. What do I line this up with? Top little piece, okay. My eyes. The sun is blinding. I can live with something like that. That's pretty cool. Get these banners. I wish they were like slightly longer. I don't think that'll... The double banner. Not quite. Getting ready to be overwhelmed by the decor at the stage where I need to start fleshing out the rooms. Yeah, it's insane. Honestly. Like, the building in this game would be really good without any of the decorations. Just maybe the windows or whatever. Like, just the blocks themselves look incredible. But then you add the terraforming stuff, and it's like, okay, that's the best building I've ever had. And then you add in that there's a decor system completely separate of the grid. Except for the windows. The windows are a little bit funky. They're just a 90-degree rotate. You can't put them at an angle. But everything else you can. So you can put it anywhere. You can clip it into things. Like, there's no limitations. When you get to the decor level of this game, it's, like, truly endless. Possibilities are endless. It's almost overwhelming at a point, to a certain degree. Can't tell if I like the roof block. Like, I like that it sort of makes it angled, but it also kind of funky. Is it too much? Oh, yeah. We're also... Forgot, I need to do this tonight. You haven't made rubble? Highly suggest messing with rubble. The way I do it is you take a rough stone block and then you smack it twice and you get this rubble effect. I like it sparing. I like using it sparingly, but I think it adds like a really cool amount of detail to a build. Like it's just enough that it gives you that rustic vibe without totally destroying it. Like that detail just makes it look like this thing is like really old. I really like it. It's a really cool little thing. And you can undo it really easily. And you can kind of make it more ridiculous in some areas versus others. Wish we could do 45-degree blocks. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people talking about that. And I think... Whoa. I think it's a very difficult... It's more difficult than people are thinking. I don't think it's necessarily something that's super easy to implement, but it's also something that's like... The building in this game is already so in-depth. Like, adding these little angle blocks is gonna, like... it's almost overwhelming how much that would be. I'm not necessarily saying I wouldn't like it, but I'm like, why hasn't Minecraft ever done an angled block? It's either too complicated or it's doing something to the gameplay. Otherwise, at this point, like they would have added in the ability to make an angle, like a 45-degree angle block. But, I mean, the roofs are 45-degree angled blocks. So at the same time, like, is it just because they're like turned on their side? Is it, I don't know. Because technically, like, it's in the game already. Like, we have an angled block. It's just not horizontal. It's a vertical or whatever, however you want to say the angle is. You use the rough stone around a chunk of bronze? Yes. A couple times. It is very cool. So now I gotta redo everything. That did the wrong blocks. Cracks going away? I guess I don't hate them. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, I definitely like this kind of broken up with a little bit more crazy rubble terrain stuff. That block, there we go. Yeah, essentially makes it look like a treasure. I've seen a lot of people use like treasure rooms and stuff with these. But it's I mean, all the blocks have really cool and unique abilities when you start doing stuff like that. It's such a great little like addition to the game. Like it's it's kind of insane. Like, you don't need much, but just that is like enough to be like, huh, this looks so much more interesting. Like, it's so organic, I think, is what it comes down to. That, like, I don't know any other game that really does this. And it's a really good level. Like, this is almost too much rubble, but like, that's like such a good amount of damage. It's just enough to break it up and make it look like maybe the developers built this and it wasn't like me building necessarily. I'm a fan. I'm having a lot of fun. Funny thing is I learned it from See-Through, and if you don't know who he is, he's a grounded builder like me. And I just deleted like all of his videos and I can't figure out what happened. Not sure what he's been doing. He also like changed his channel name. He's a whole different person now. I don't have enough time to watch other people stream, so I have no clue what's going on. Yeah, it's like just a cool amount of detail. It just makes it so like not flat and one-dimensional. It's very fitting for like an altar that's getting taken over by a shroud. I also don't want to get this like too detailed. I gotta find the level of like, is this too much detail? Or are we getting too out of hand between the banners and these roof blocks? I can't decide yet. Let's take away. I often like comparing, seeing like what looks better or what doesn't. Basically making a Moria/Erebor hybrid, and it's going to have a massive custom smelter area, so I'll be doing a lot of huge pillars of raw ore. Nice. And then you're going to make a Balrog as well. You'll get along with Ludorev. He's now lurking and trying to sleep, but he is a massive Lord of the Rings fan. He's done a lot of cool Lord of the Rings stuff. He actually broke the game. Like, Grounded has a Playgrounds mode, and he broke the game because he put so much stuff building Sauron's, like, tower. I don't know why I'm totally blanking on the name for some reason. With his eye and everything out with, like, these pistols is insane. Absolutely insane. Still debating on using the sand lava and metal grating on the entire floor for the smelting area, but it'll be 25 by 30 area. I think it's the way to go. I'm going to do more of this lava effect in here as well. I'm going to take some of this, and this will be like, this room drops down, comes in here, and then there'll be some raised areas around, and then more doorways and pathways and stuff. That go in all different directions. I'm still figuring out, but that's where all the NPCs and stuff are going to be. And then I think the floor in here is going to be a combination of essentially like recreating this, but with lava under it with the grates. That was my idea. We'll see how it all turns out, though. What's up, John? How's it going? Wonder what happens if I build like a block here. Oops. That's kind of cool. It's like semi-rebuilds it. Yeah, kind of like it built just a bit more. Also was thinking maybe a decent area to add in the same little window detail that I've done for a hand railing in here that I really like. Be a decent place to do it. I don't know if it's necessary, though. This is probably enough to get us going. Guess there's one. Doing my Streamly check-in. Sounds good. We're doing it. This is what we're working on. Also working on the Armory at the same time. I'm just going back and forth. My brain's all over the place. Hey, Potato, what's up? How's it going? Hope you had a good stream. Thanks for the raid. Definitely appreciate it. So, we're working on a flame altar tonight. And it's being consumed by the luminescent growth. Just coming together really well. I'm really enjoying it. Really diving deep into the Enshrouded build mechanics between the terrain and the you can like destroy blocks, and then the landscaping, and all the things are happening. We're going ham tonight. And then we also are working on our armory downstairs, which is equally as cool. It's its own fun design and style. And we're just being crazy and jumping around and building it both. As I think of an idea, I run upstairs and build that. And then I run back down here to build something else. Thank you for the follow, Billy. Appreciate it. This is what we did last stream on Monday. It was really fun. It was a good one. Luderav helped a lot on this one. Some really interesting ideas that sparked my imagination, and we went crazy. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to do the rest of this room, so I'm kind of taking a pause. This was my main idea last stream, and now I'm like, how does everything else work? How are we going to detail this out to match the level of insanity that this thing is? Love Luda? Yes, he's the best. He was in here all of 10-15 minutes ago, but he went to bed. Uh, 4 over? I think. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's right. You gotta be really good at counting if you want to play this game. Very easy to screw things up. That's 1, 2, 1, 1. Yeah? Yeah. Of course I built that little tree thing, and now I'm going to cover it. This is the only one I got to look good. Oh, no. Sure. Guess that works. Lovely, lovely. Wait. It's going the wrong way. Dang it. Supposed to go out. So the doubles go, when you're inside, go right or left. This way. It helps when I'm using the right block as well, for sure. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Wait. I used the wrong block. Dang it. This one's polished. Looks just slightly different. Which means I used the correct block for that. So somehow I screwed that up. I don't know how. Sometimes. Sometimes. Okay. Lovely, lovely. Alright, we're heading in the right direction. The circle looks way better than the square. I wasn't sure how I was feeling about that earlier, but this works. Do like slightly higher block at all the corners or something. Does it need the corners? Kind of looks good. Could destroy these and make them rubble as well. We will see, though. Wrong spot. What'd I do here? Oh, it's because it's granite. It's probably fine. You'll never notice. Definitely have to get used to some of the silly interactions you can have between blocks if you're not paying attention. Or using the wrong blocks every time. Alright. Want like the little spiky fence, but just out of like this corner. Ooh, actually, let's try. This is one thing I really enjoy about the decor in this game is you can use something like this and then tie it back in. You can get in the right spots. Oh no, there we go. That's kind of cool, actually. It's even... Is that rust? Is it blood? I don't know. Ew. I can't decide. How's it look if I do one of those? Oh, well, duh. That's it. Duh. That's sick. Okay. Decision made. That's all I needed to know. That's, like, perfect. I really wanted to use those tombstones, so I've just been screwing around with them all day trying to figure out how to build with them. But that was the answer. Say less, Enshrouded. I'm convinced. What's up, Knife? How's it going? What? Guess what am I doing here? Keep them consistent. Wait, that was right. I'm just a goofball. Is one side? They're both bloody. Okay, never mind. Womp again. How's it going? What? Dang it. Do that, and then do like these sideways, actually. What? Sideways. Hello, stop it, game. Rotate. There. Being very finicky. It's so angry at me. Scroll like 5 times to get it to rotate. There we go. Got a GMC terrain? Holy cow, sounds nice. I don't even know what those look like. Sounds pretty nice, though. This is the finicky part. There we go. Bottom one's a little silly. That looks perfect. It's exactly what I was hoping for. Get in your hole. was a quick turnaround. You didn't have a car all of a couple days ago. No car and no meat. Hello? There we go. Huge SUV that is classified as a truck? Well, I'll do it. Your only issue is if you hit a deer this time, there's definitely not going to be any meat. If I wanted to pay for the gas, I would have a bigger car. But I have no desire to pay for gas. I also work from home, so I don't really worry about it too much. I don't have to drive very far these days. Hey, Oozin with the resub. Thank you. 5 months. Let's go. Interesting. I didn't realize these were so bloody. Hides them pretty well, though. Whoa, knife with the 10 gifted? Holy cow, knife, thank you. You just got a car. What do you do donating subs? Holy moly. Well, hope everyone enjoys the free subs. Let's go. That was a big one. You just trying to show up? You just trying to show up oozing like that? You over here resubbing and you're just like, ha, resubs? 10 subs. Love it though. Thank you, man. You definitely make this all possible. It's insane how much you've donated to the channel. I don't know how else to reward you further than VIP. Dude, that looks perfect. Those are like the perfect detail. Oh my gosh, this thing's so sick. What the? Dude, when did that become a tree? What the? I thought this was a shrub. What is happening? I was not planning for a tree to grow there. Crap. I thought it was just a shrub like this. I have a Subaru BRZ, best car I've ever owned. I actually, when I was younger, had a WRX. So I had looked at the BRZs, but I needed something bigger, unfortunately. I had to go with a Crosstrek. And then we had a kid, and now I need like an Ascent. But I do love Subarus, especially because I live in a mountain town, so all-wheel drive is incredible to have. I don't know how people in this town do it without a car that has all-wheel drive. I still can't decide what I like better. Like, this is so blocky, but this is like so much detail. I don't know. It's not bad from the sides. I do like the mossiness. That part's kind of nice. I don't hate that part. But we'll see. I wonder if this blue needs to go there. Or is it fine? Probably fine. I wish I could slightly adjust this. I just want to like the blue to like meld. What is actually? I don't think I've seen anyone do this. What does it look like when you destroy? Okay. Maybe try it over there. Yeah, I live in a flat area with long, windy roads, so it's fun to take it out. Oh, that sounds so nice. How many times do you break down? I've never broken down once in any Subaru I've owned. And my WRX had 170,000 miles on it when I sold it, and I've got just about 100 on my Crosstrek right now. Honestly, I don't know a single person that has had a Subaru breakdown on them. Eventually, bummer, that doesn't do anything to them. Eventually there's things like timing belts and stuff that can go out, but as long as you do like normal maintenance and wear and tear, like that shouldn't be a problem ever. I think typically people's Subarus that break down is negligence more than the car itself. There's definitely a lot of, like, my wife's mother owns an Outback. She's not a car person, so I wouldn't expect her to, like, know for the couple things you have to, like, maintain consistently. But I know a lot of Subarus that have made it to 300,000 miles, and they're good cars. Did you try the ornate granite roof? I didn't see if a single would give you a spike. Are you saying, like, here? That's what I have here. I just can't decide if I like the roof part and the little spike. I can't decide if I like this little edge detail thing that's like clipping through. It's a little weird. Can't decide. But that's the block I'm using. I did not like the ornamental one. Or I liked the granite shingle one. I don't like the ornamental one. It's too big. I know at Audi meets there's always an oil patch on the ground. Yeah, I almost got an Audi A4 ages ago, but they are way too expensive. Yeah, I just don't like how clunky that looks compared. It's too... If it didn't stick out so far, I think it'd be fine, but I don't like how it sticks out. It's like, it's not bad, but it feels clunky. I mean, this even feels clunky. I want it more low profile. I like that this doesn't stick above, so I don't know yet. But like, this looks so blocky. It's hard. I also wouldn't want to pay to repair an Audi because they're just too expensive. The details are coming together, though. This is looking insane. So simple, but... Go up a bit more? What do you mean? Like the roof? Or what? I'm changing subjects too fast. Go up where? Where do we go? Dude, this is gonna be sick for the video. I can't tell if I like or dislike the tree. Definitely looks cool. I mean, there's definitely gonna be more planters and trees and landscaping in general in this whole city because it's so big, but I'm just not sure how I want to approach that yet. Should try a little bit. Test out. I'm just trying to like figure out all the different rubble, this stuff you can do. I like it less there. It almost needs... more? How's that look? Just have to really mess with these mechanics. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. It's not quite broken enough on the sides. Let's see, maybe do like the top. I think those lines go away. I'm not sure. Might have to rebuild if not. The arches go up one more to the rooftop? Okay. To check if the blue stuff will grow up the tree a bit. It might. I kind of doubt it, because every time I keep trying to place something near this stuff, it just like says area occupied. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. I mean, you could build it next to it, right? It's like almost almost there, but it's also like not quite close enough to be not quite there. It's like close, but it's kind of jank at the same time. It's just like almost close enough to be believable, but it's also kind of weird. Yeah, it's a little too far away. Dang it. That would have been a good idea, though, for sure. It wasn't floating. Let's see. This one I'm using? This one. You're saying do like this? I mean, it's about the same. Surprised it doesn't add more. The only thing I don't like is that it does that on the side. Otherwise, I would just send it. I just don't like that pattern clipping through weirdly. The only thing I'm stuck on. I don't know if I like that rubble on top, actually. Need a bigger tree to look good, but yeah, it doesn't look that good with a small one. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what the other sizes of trees are, so that would help. But, I mean, that's what the goal is through just testing ideas like this. Figure out what works, what doesn't. It's all trial and error at the end of the day to me. I think I like it less not poking up above. It's close. It's like so close to what I want. It's so far away. You know, you ever have that feeling? I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know if I want that big of a tree in this area. That is the other thing. Oh, but it'll grow up the bush. Sure, that makes sense. Apparently the bush doesn't exist. It's just a figment of your imagination. Interesting. It seems insane. Okay. That, like, you don't even really notice that. At night, that'll look insane. Going to go watch Fire Force anime. Have a wonderful rest of the stream. Thank you, man. I appreciate you just coming in, donating 10 gifted subs, and then dipping out, man. Hope you have a great rest of your night. We'll catch you on the next one. I do like some of the vegetation, though. That's definitely going to be like make this whole thing come to life, is having trees and all that. I love that you can place them anywhere in vanilla. Like, oh, that part's so nice. I've been waiting for a game with like every game that I play. I want to place more organic landscaping, and I'm absolutely blown away by what this game has available at the moment in early access. What's up, XYZ? How's it going? Yeah, this is looking epic. Whatever way we decide, it looks cool. I am leaning towards the roof. Although when you get into like that detail, like it kind of hides the fact that it's kind of blocky, so I mean, maybe it's not needed. Happens to the details. Kind of hide those as well. Be nice to plant the big trees. I guess I don't know what... You can plant all of these. Okay. I don't even think I grabbed everything as well. I think there's more. Conifer, that's a shrub. I think that's what I just placed. An evergreen and a broadleaf. Should probably just place these just to see what the heck they are. That'd be smart. Gotta test Until you see it, like, growing, it's really hard to tell what these all are. I don't know if you can build the, like, massive ones. I think that's the Revel Wood one, but I thought that's what I placed, but there's no way to tell now unless I cut it down. Right? Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't say anything. I don't know if trees are quiet. Hopefully, like, one of these is maybe slightly smaller. I like the shrub size like this. I don't necessarily know if a tree's quite the right size. I don't know. Not game dev, but I have a builder/survival game design in mind where I'd like to add the ability to plant more organically. Funny enough, I was working on a deck builder game with a buddy of mine, but he also likes building, and we were talking about like creating the like ultimate building game. The hard part is like this is a custom game engine. So like they are building each piece of this as they go. They're not using like Unreal Engine or anything. So it's like I can only imagine the complexity in doing that. And why the rest of the building games out there don't quite compete with this. At least yet. I don't feel like any other game quite competes with the building of this game. It's just so free. The roof. Once you get up to like this, it kind of gets funky. It's the hard part. Yeah. Hardest part is getting them around the corners and stuff. It looks a little weird unless you do it really well. Need more decor pieces out with me. It's the hardest part of this. There's just so many options. Can't decide if I like the little blue mushrooms. They don't quite fit the same aesthetic, but they do look cool. Really need is a dev team to explain things to me, and that would take instructions from me with no need for immediate budget. Dude, count me in. Me and you, I think we could do it. I have the practical building experience. That was like, I was really hoping, like, as we grow the channel and stuff, I would love, like, a dream would be to get to work with game developers as like a consultant or something, to be able to come in, even if it's just like testing or whatever, to like be someone that got to come in and test Enshrouded or like Grounded 2. If Grounded 2 got announced, I'd be all over the devs. Like, please let me, here's my resume. Please let me be part of this process. I don't care if all you do is give me merch as payment. Just please let me be a part of this process, because again, I don't say this in a cocky way, but I think some of the best building pieces in the game got added because of a couple comments I made during a live stream I did with the Grounded devs. I brought to light just a couple pieces that I was like, we need this. And they took it and created it, and it ended up being better than I could have ever imagined for the game. But I like taking credit for that little slice of pie. Yeah, this is awesome. The tree is actually kind of nice. I don't know. I just want it slightly smaller. Sounds sick, yeah. And some things I want to add would be from military experience. Interesting. Still like a scythe to mass harvest my crops in a way to have the farm or assistant. That for sure. Like NPCs actually being useful. Because at the moment, although like the extra NPCs add a cool level of life to the game, I guess, they offer nothing else. So like when you save the blacksmith's aunt or whatever, like she doesn't do anything for the game. She's just like an extension of the blacksmith. So she just offers, I don't even know if it's the full range of items that the blacksmith offers. So it's like useful, but how useful is it? They're kind of just like there. So adding the ability to like be useful and automate some things would be sick. When Grounded 2 gets announced, I think a few of us will be hitting up the devs to give you a listen for building pieces. Hey. Please do. Advocate for me. What other decor do I have I can mess with? I don't really know. I need those trees to grow before I keep messing with the vegetation. I was going to like potentially redo some of this shroud for the video that I'm making, but now I've done so much detailing that I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to, but it would be really easy to redo it, honestly. Now the stop motion with all this detail is going to be even better. It's the hard part. Interesting. Tough choices. I think it'll just be more I'll have to do it up there or something. We'll see. Super sick, though. I'm loving how that's turning out. I just want to run around it. Besides all the variables with no news, new build system, game engine, etc., my biggest thing is making variations of all parts. Just do this, please. Yeah. Honestly, like, it was like, why is there not an ash cement column? Why is there not more window choices? Just the little things. Like, they could have added a bunch of stuff in. Instead of maybe more decor items like they did, they could have added in more build-specific pieces without, like the quarter blocks were kind of like reinventing the wheel a little bit because they were very different from their original pieces. But like an ash cement column when they already have columns is, or more arch pieces. Like they had mushroom arches. I'm sure we could figure out a weed stem arch, and they bent them in the game, like for some of the windowsills and stuff. So you know they can do it. My hope is that maybe the second game, if and when announced, it is slightly more along those lines. They think more along those lines. I'm not even sure what I'm trying to say. Who knows? I can only imagine if they did make a second one, it would just get better. So now I'm focused on early access for Subnautica. Cannot wait till they announce that. Mushroom arch, but we can't bend a stem. Exactly. But they can. They can bend a stem. There's round windows, like grass windows with weed stem, like window frames that are circles, or they're bent in like sort of arches. So you know that. I mean, you could do it. They have the technology. Sounds like there might be another update coming to Grounded. Sounds like it's a little ways off, but it's coming, at least. Couldn't do a time lapse because I jump around from spot to spot so much. Too much? Yeah. I mean, like the hardest thing about doing time lapses and stuff is, like this game, I don't even know how you do it. Like I'd have to get, I don't know how I do. So in like Grounded, I did time lapse videos, and I had a Steam account, and then a second, I bought the game on Xbox Game Pass, and then made a second account with a different Xbox Game Pass, so I could open the Steam version of Grounded and the Xbox Game Pass version of Grounded at the same time. And then I created in OBS a source that was the secondary Grounded screen. And then you have to have the Unreal Engine unlocker to turn off the HUD and fly and everything. And then you go into first person, fly to where you want, sit where you're going to sit. And then the other instance of Grounded builds everything while you record from the third person perspective, essentially. But I don't know how you open a second instance of Enshrouded, so I think I would have to have someone join my world to do the recording or something. So it's like, it's so too complicated, and like sending footage is horrible. I talked to a buddy and he's like, yeah, it's the files get too big because they're recordings and everything about it just doesn't work. So not sure how I do any of that. I've seen a couple, but I'm assuming those people just had like someone else sitting on an extra character. Come on now. Wait. That off. What's happening? Can't tell. I'm placing this block. Whatever. Thank goodness Enshrouded came along to fill a build void. Yes, exactly. You've got Subnautica 2 to look forward to. Yes, that is also. I'm very excited because they've already mentioned that they completely are retooling the build system and reworking it, and I already had a lot of fun with what is probably the most basic build system in any game ever. It's just the same tubes in a couple big rooms. Like, it wasn't even that interesting, but the game is so freaking gorgeous that I had so much fun building in it because it just looked really good. But I'm really excited for Subnautica 2. That's still one of my favorite survival games. Like, Grounded is my favorite like building game. Now Enshrouded is kind of becoming tied with that, but just in terms of like a pure survival game, Subnautica is like one of my favorite. I love like deep sea. In another life, I think I was like a marine biologist or something. I love that stuff. My wife makes fun of me because I love watching deep sea documentaries and stuff. If you built it out, then you had someone else come in and piece by piece dismember and then play it backwards. That would work. That is the hard part there is then you have to, I guess you could just save, create a copy of the save, and then just reload over it after they destroyed the whole thing. It sounds pretty convoluted though, I will say. Sort of the point is that I stopped doing the build laps stuff because it is stupidly complicated and annoying to set up. I had zero fun doing that type of, like, that is why I have not done another video like my Hogwarts Legacy boathouse build in Grounded. Because I had so little fun making that video. Like, it is so tedious. It looked really cool, don't get me wrong. But the filming part of it was unbearable at times. I did not enjoy myself. Just one of those things, like, it gets too complicated too fast and looks like doo-doo if you don't do it right. I don't necessarily know how people can stand it. I mean, if you have like Minecraft's easy enough, but most of the other games are just stupid. It's too complicated. Deep sea is scary. That's why NASA stopped with water exploration and went to space. I think it's horrifying and scary, but I think that's why it's so cool to me. The fact that we've explored, like, we know as much about space as we do, like, the oceans in our own world. Like, that to me is insane. I've always found that very interesting. And we don't even know, like, a fraction of the species in the ocean as well. Such an interesting place to me. I don't know. It's just one of my things. horrifying. Like, I mean, I go snorkeling and I've gone scuba diving before. Craziest thing I did is we did a like snorkeling excursion in Mexico, and we got to swim in this school of jackfish, and so they're about 4 or 5 foot long fish. I mean, when you're swimming next to it, it feels as big as you are. They were huge, and that we swam in a school of them, like hundreds, if not thousands of them, like underneath you, and it's just these like massive fish, these big eyes, just like staring at you as you swim above them. And then there's scuba divers that were underneath them, and so they like balled them all up. It was crazy. Definitely like creepy though, with that many like giant fish right there. It was kind of crazy. I don't want to know about the ocean. Keep all that creepy shit in. One ocean fact that never stops blowing my mind is that sharks existed before trees, right? Yeah, I think that's just why the ocean's so interesting to me. I don't know. Horrifying, but interesting. Definitely a bit horrifying, but also very interesting. And here come sharks, right? Someone's gonna go poking around in the bottom of the ocean and release Cthulhu. I don't doubt that, though. Like, that's the crazy thing. We're still finding, like, species of animals on land. So, like, they find new species of fish and stuff in deep sea craziness all the time. So, like, you know, there's probably some stuff out there, if you ask me. Some horrifying stuff. But, I mean, at the same time, like, it's not even Cthulhu. Like, they're literally colossal squid. So it's like that, it does sort of exist, you know? Like, there be those massive squids out there, so. I learned I have severe anxiety when I had a panic attack while snorkeling over a drop-off. Yeah, that's quite common. It's not easy, 1, to be underwater, and 2, to be, like, breathing under it, and then 3, to, like, now think about what you're in. It's a lot. And the fact that the levels rose, 400 feet or whatever, and covered so much stuff, there's got to be some awesome stuff hidden under the sand and water just off the coast. Don't doubt it. There's some craziness out in the world still to be discovered, for sure. Is that too deep? I'm gonna have to get some mannequins and see. I don't know. Or the bloop. What was that? What was the bloop? There's some weird stuff. There's so many weird. Those like deep sea oil rig cameras are so interesting. I need to go get some of the cool decorations. I'll never dive or cave explore. I've watched too many YouTube videos about people getting stuck and dying. I mean, you're not wrong. But sometimes you gotta live a little. So like 2. Well, that's not centered. That's centered. Is that too big? It's kind of big. Could raise everything 1 more though, honestly. One of these. look better having this sort of all raised just one level. Maybe more, I don't know. Let's see. I didn't need those videos to make me afraid of that. I live a little firmly planted. Firmly planted on the ground. Hey, to each their own. I mean, I don't necessarily have a desire to go like deep sea diving or anything, but I do enjoy the ocean and stuff. But I definitely understand the discomfort around it. I saw this one really cool display. Had some weapons above, so I kind of want to replicate what they did for some pieces and then sort of see how it looks otherwise. Does feel a little short. Maybe one more up? Not there, but there. I like the way that works. Want a real adventure? Come have a smoke sesh with me. We'll explore time and space. Yeah, how could you be afraid of anything, man? I mean, you've been everywhere. Or is that why you're afraid? You've explored everywhere. Who needs to explore the oceans when you've explored the universe? I've been everywhere, man. Randomly came into my head. When I got too anxious and paranoid, edibles on the other hand. That's funny. I feel like I had the opposite experience. I don't get really paranoid though, but I was like, first time I had an edible, it was like, dude, what the, what was I thinking? I was just happy I didn't go as ham as my friends. 1 over 4, yeah, 5 over. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm doing this absolutely backwards too, by the way. Like that movie, Lucy, I've unlocked my brain. Yeah, note to self, never build like this. First off, I didn't line this up. I didn't start from the side that actually makes a difference because I can always make these stairs stop anywhere. I can't build out here anymore. Mistakes were being made. Luckily, I haven't done too much, but... Okay, so then 5, right? It's 5, right? I don't know. I also want to do slightly extra. I saw this sick armory. Use like some different metal stuff that I really like. Go get some different blocks. Almost out of room. Put some stuff away though. Maybe. Put that there. I don't like those fat banners anyways. Need a, like, another chest for all the trees and shrubs. I'm trying to stay as organized as I possibly can right now. It's tough. Don't need that much stone either. Only want that much stoned. What a bad pun. Yeah, a hot deposit from inventory is needed. Like, so bad. Wait, those are supposed to stay downstairs. Okay, I want to try palm wood. I think looks really cool, which is that. That? Yeah. Grab a stack of each of those. I was like, I hate how it auto goes to your inventory. That doesn't make any sense to me. Should always go to your backpack. Weathered. I don't want this weathered stone. Where is it? Okay, so thinking the wood blocks and then metal, I think looks cool. Is it metal or iron? Iron. I think I like the iron better. Metal's a little too rustic looking. Shift click to deposit or withdraw would be nice. Is that not a thing? Shift? Yeah. It works. You can also, I mean, it's semi-functional. But if you do Shift R, it deposits, like, whatever you have in this chest, it will deposit that type of item. But honestly, there's too many items to individually deposit every single item in a different chest. Like, putting this stuff away is going to take me 5 minutes, which is so long. They really do need a better deposit system. I think is a massive one for me. It's like they have some bits of it, but they're missing some of the, like, really convenient ones. I mean, like, when Grounded added the hot deposit from inventory, it made the game so much better. So much better. The convenience is something that's serious. Do something like that, maybe. Sec. I want to have a combination of materials here, but kind of hard to figure out what it's going to be. Like, this room is a little too dungeony right now. I think I want to lighten it up with some, like, wood and stuff, and I think that's where some of these details are going to come in. I really like how that stuff looks upstairs. But I'm not sure if I want to introduce a bunch of materials or not. A hard decision. How many materials is too many materials? 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see which one looks better. I tend to lean towards the conifer. I just saw some really interesting stuff with the palm wood design. But I think the conifer looks better with this polished kind of. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can get on board with that. If I put these walls up and I'm gonna have to like immediately destroy them. That's in line. That iron block. Never heard my work phone make that noise before. Coming. There you go. That part sucks. Wonder if that's why this person used palm wood instead. Wonder if it doesn't quite do that same thing. One of these days I'll place these in the right spot. Could do combination of the two if one. That actually kind of does it. It creates an illusion that we're using the block I want to use. Because the palm wood doesn't look that different. Amazingly. But it doesn't create that weird piece that just sticks out. Okay. So we need to find a way to make that look better. Like too much of a ledge, you know? Conifer wood, maybe? Hmm. Adds the warmth. It's just missing something. I don't like that. Well, that's also in the wrong spot. Derp. There we go. Could be some more wood. Not sure what's too much wood and what's not enough. I don't know if that looks very good. Maybe like just the inside. Keep the these. I don't even know what the conifer wood looks like as a floor. Being so difficult there. See what a mannequin looks like. It's not bad. This is where this game gets insane. There's so many combinations that you can do. Like the textures change as you get higher, which is insane. Trying to like look at this one build that I'm looking at. Like there's some blocks that I'm like, what are they even using? Fancy stone. That might be the one. Forgot about that block. That block's sick. Go cheat and try it out. Get some fancy stone. Which is this? No. That? No. Oh, it's this one, isn't it? Yeah. Fancy stone makes a really cool little lower detail that is wooden, even though it's a stone block. It's very interesting. I don't even know how to describe it. Where'd I get that? You can see it if you... Wait. Is it not fancy stone? Swear. Yeah, okay. It is. It's just like the columns have this really cool... So it's like wood, but it's not, you know? It's such an interesting block. So like, it's a stone block, unless you've only placed the first two of it. Which might create the effect that I'm looking for. If done correctly. Maybe. Hello? Stone might be the way to go here. Interesting. Oops. Very interesting block. This is where it's a little weird. Maybe that's where conifer comes in. Do this front portion. That's weird. Tough decisions. Why you really have to learn the blocks in this game, because like that's so close to doing what I want it to do, it's just not there. It's getting there. I don't know. Just really liked, I'd seen someone almost like use this as a background for the weapons, and it just looks really interesting to me. So I want to find my own way of using the same block. Easier said than done. I really like that it was like used other materials, though. Essentially what they did was, I think, something like, let's rebuild the whole thing so I can see it. What, too high? Actually, this is probably perfect. Not perfect. It goes on the ground, it is though. And then they used palm wood. Something like this. Let's say we'll delete some of this. I feel like theirs fits together better. What the heck? Gotta be palm wood. Can't picture it being anything else. Shroud wood, maybe? Just doesn't look like the right color. Maybe it's shroud wood. Shroud wood's a pretty cool block too, so you never know. It just doesn't have any detail to it. A cool color. I can't imagine that's it, because their thing has way more detail than that. Not enough detail to it. We'll figure out a combo that works at some point. It's like I kind of like how this is sitting on things, but it's just not quite there. Needs some oomph. That's definitely not the block they're using. What the heck are they using? Definitely fancy stone. I cannot figure out what the block on top is. There's so many blocks in this build, it's insane. It's a really, really cool build. Quite impressed. Dude, what is this? It's like a wood block that I don't even have access to. I'm gonna have to ask what the heck they're using. So freaking cool. It's like the perfect darkness too. Like the palm wood's too light. Conifer wood's great, but it's not working the way I want it to because of the weird little things that stick out. I have no way this is the block they're using. It's like looking at it and like this ain't it. It's close, but it's like not the same. What they made looks way cooler than this. I don't hate this, but it's not quite working with the other materials yet. Also don't love this edge detail here. Not good enough. Ouch. TC Vince? Oh, alright. I'm out. Have a good night. Sounds good, Vince. Thanks for hanging out. Hopefully we'll catch you on the next one. These are too deep, too. Mannequins need to be, like, up front, or else we're never going to see them. Like there? Gotta be, like, there. Or else it's like, what's the point? Maybe? Key is like when you're up here. I'd have a good view of everyone. Are we watching your construction? Sounds good, White. Thank you, thank you. Hope you're enjoying it. Build's coming together. It's been fun so far. I need some hand railings here too. Maybe copy this detail. Yeah, that might actually be perfect. And lighting in these areas is going to be interesting. Wonder if I can do maybe like lighting above. Take out some of this and do some of the luminescent blocks. That might look cool. The mannequins in bronze armor look good, and I made the regular ones as if in cryo freezing. Interesting. I'm going to be making every single set of armor in this space. So it'll have, each mannequin will have one of the different sets. So we'll see how it turns out. I got a lot of stuff to think through. Yeah, I feel like it does need to be all the way to the front, or else you just like can't see it. Which makes me kind of want to like drop everything back a level. Almost. Do something. I think that's going to be the way to go. Otherwise, it's like you can't see them. Yeah, that'll help. Little ice, a little snow, a border of holly. Holy obsidian? I do like, I've used the ice and snow together. It's a really cool little combination of blocks. I have to spend some time thinking about how these are gonna come together. I gotta mess with materials. I really like the bottom. The metal I think will be cool. I'm not sure what to do with this like border to fit. I sort of want to like lighten up. This is very dark dungeon feeling, and I don't want it to necessarily just feel like a dungeon. I do, but I don't, you know? Tough times. I also need to figure out a cool roof in here. I'm not totally sure. I don't have a ton of room to work with. Tried installing the lamps in a single block. Which lamps? There's so many. I've done some stuff. I mean, there's so many options. It's hard to even like touch everything. It's a dungeon vibe, but it's an armory is the idea. So there'll be, oops. There will be essentially some type of super repetitive little thing. I've seen some do armor above. I've seen some people make little armor displays. So I might do a combination of that. I think there's too many weapons to show off every weapon in this space, but I'm not sure yet. But yeah, there'll be them all the way through there. Same thing on this side, and then there'll also be ones built into the walls. At least these two walls, maybe those. Maybe these become displays for some of my favorite stuff. I'm not sure yet. Red ones on a leg. I don't remember the name, but the block is made of palm wood. This is palm wood. I'm messing with it a little. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. I typically prefer conifer wood, but I don't like that when you place it on another block, it gets these weird little nub things. I've used that to my advantage a couple times, but I don't like it here. So I'm kind of trying to figure that out. Hard parts, there's just so many options. Too many options, some would say at times. Oh, this just doesn't fit the aesthetic, unfortunately. Not quite the right palette. I don't think. Is that filled in? That is. Yeah. I don't love it. Might just be wood. I want to lighten it up with the wood a little bit, but I also want to keep the same styling. I don't know. Right 2 blocks, on the left 1 block. Wooden foundation? Huh? I don't understand, sorry. Be very hard to, as I've experienced before, it can be pretty hard to understand other people's ideas in the moment through text and stuff. Especially because I'm a like super visual person. So I often have to see what's happening to understand quite what I'm being told. Don't know yet though. Room with the mannequin on the right are 2 blocks high wooden foundations. What? This is fancy stone. The fancy stone block that for some reason looks like wood until you get too high and then it turns into fancy stone. It's a really interesting block. So it's wood, but it's not. It's wood, but stone. I'm like referencing another build that used that material, and I don't know, I like the vibe that it gives off, but I'm struggling to make it work for my stuff. Very different build, so I gotta find my own way to combine materials to give the look I'm going for. We're not there yet. I really want to know what the heck this block is. That, maybe it's, that's what I'm missing. Gotta be this that they're using. I don't know why it just looks different on their build. I mean, that's 100% what they're using for those portions, but fancy stone's too light. Wonder if we added a different type of stone? I don't necessarily think granite is the play. What's this? Castle wall maybe could be interesting. I don't think those are it. Grab a couple castle walls, see what happens. The well block might be interesting in here as well. So many options. The hardest part about this game, which is also its biggest strength, is that it has so many options. I've yet to see a single build look anywhere near. Like, I haven't seen anyone make something that looks anything like anyone else's build yet. Like, they all look so different. That block wasn't so clunky. I don't hate it. It's not horrible. And yes, we have a... For each building block, we have a different chest. So each one, like, what, that's hollow hall or obsidian. So the lower block is the obsidian. The upper block is the marble or whatever. That's hollowed halls, yeah. We have every block. We have the roof blocks. And then we have the terrain blocks currently. And then we have all these chests for the decor and resources as well. Honestly, the crazy thing is I thought this was so overkill. I honestly, I don't know if I'm going to have enough space. Like, we're definitely not... There's too many resources. So it'll be one chest of resources that are alike. So, like, these are all consumables. I think is how I'm going to do it. And then we'll have to decide how the heck we organize the items. And then you got to get to, like, decor. I mean, it's going to be a chest for windows, and it's going to be a chest for fences and stuff like that. I don't know, that's the only way I can currently think through not using 10 trillion chests. Because I'm already worried that, like, we're going to get 2 more roofs and 2 more terrain and 2 more road, and then I'm, like, out of space back here. And then even if it's, like, I have 8 blocks there for the blocks. I can only imagine we're going to get, like, another 2, 3, 4 updates. Who knows? I mean, we can get a lot of stuff before it goes to early access. And then who knows if they're going to... Or out of early access. And then who knows if they're going to keep updating it after early access. Whole obsidian goes well with lamps. Light block? Yeah, I have seen that. The, this thing with the white. I've seen a couple builds with that. It looks really epic. That's the hard thing is, like, I don't think we've even touched 10% of the possibility in this game. Like, between everyone playing it, the different things I've seen is like, it's endless. So it's completely endless. 400 hours of a construction, then you can really go wild. Exactly. Yeah. I think I have 450 hours now. I probably spent the first 100 or so playing the game in the demo and stuff. Whoa, the trees grew. Oh, okay. Some big trees. I wish I knew which tree was which. Dang it. Is that fully grown? Okay, that's a pretty good size. Those two are. I might swap. Wait a second. Did they just grow at different heights? Oh, maybe this one's not done growing. I feel like that's what that is. If it stopped there, it'd be perfect. Made my own system by icons and types. If you play with them a little, it's easy to divide them into groups of 5, 7 for each option. Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, I use a resource world, and they have it pretty well organized. I mean, they just do a chest of like 2 rows of an item typically, so you get like 4 or so per chest, and good enough. I have a tree of 32 trees. Is there 32 trees in the game? What? Isn't it just like these 4? And then some shrubs and stuff? That's a sick tree though, too. These are really cool. I love that you can plant trees in this game. It's just crazy. Trees and shrubs and terrain, and oh man, it's so good. When a tree grows, it changes its appearance from a small sprout to a medium one, and then you can plant another one right next to it, and so on until you get a huge tree. Whoa, interesting. So that's how you get the like the Blackmire massive trees, essentially. Huh, interesting. I have to make a note on some of this stuff. I'm discovering so much. I feel like I played a lot of this and I'm just still barely touching the surface. I'm gonna have to test that. Will you use the hidden doors as blinds for the windows in the dungeons? I wasn't thinking about it, no. Because they're not, it's like a display case. I'm doing like a display case. It's not like a dungeon, it's an armory. It just, I'm saying it looks like a dungeon, which is kind of why I'm trying to add the wood and stuff. So it isn't so dungeon-like. Like, I like that this has the conifer wood. It kind of lightens things up, and it doesn't feel necessary. It still feels like a mine sort of thing, but it's not like too dark and dungeony. I'm interested to see if that is medium grown. Yesterday, while removing incorrectly grown trees near the arena, I came across 2 that had grown horizontally. Whoa. Wonder how that happens. So what you're saying is if I take a tree and do this, it will now grow a bigger tree? Correct me if I'm wrong, or do I need to build like one in every spot around it? Oh. Okay, you can't. So essentially that one's got to grow to a certain point, and then you can put a closer one to it. Burning torch casts shadows when placed between blocks of different colors, and this is reflected on them as well. Interesting. That's so much to learn. So I'm assuming at that point, so like when this one's medium grown, or is it grow to this and just make this one bigger? Is that how it works? I'm going to be making a top 10 tips video. That's sort of one of the series that I've been trying to do in any game I build in, like my top 10 tips. So I want to do one on like landscaping, building terrain and stuff. So all those things. Yes, you're right about the tree. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Very cool. The hard part is like, how the heck do you learn these things when like they don't tell you this? I can never understand some of these weird random build like things that just work like that, and they're never mentioned. The game doesn't tell you how to do it, and people just figure it out. Like, who was like, I'm just gonna plant a tree next to this tree, and it just happens to make this massive tree. Like, what? To do a ridiculously large tree and make a tree house? I mean, the thing is there already is ridiculously large trees in the Black Mire. But the fact that you can make your own ridiculously big tree wherever you want is also really interesting. There's so much. It's sort of the same concept of like, you can, like these trees. Here's your ridiculously massive trees. They're so cool. But like making your own massive trees, huh? I mean, if you're going to build a tree house, this feels like the right biome to do it, though. Okay, don't die. And that's the biggest tree. Since the game, every other day, I watch how someone creates something new and beautiful in this game, right? Can you build a tree house? Like, is it feasible? 100%. Like, if you have a desire to build a treehouse, I don't think there's a better game to build a treehouse. It's like, if you go to those trees and place a flame altar, you can just deconstruct the trees. So like, you can use, there's a block that is the trees, and like there's a bark block and a heartwood block, and so you can build your own tree. You can transform and sort of make your own branches and stuff. And then you can dig into the middle of the tree and like hollow them out and stuff. Like, it's 100% flexibility. It's incredible. Every day you've seen someone build something new. Like, that's what I'm saying, is like there's so many combinations and weird things that you can do that I've never, like this. This is just a tombstone, and then I built 2 blocks over it. And it's like, the little details are insane. When I was building the arena, I was able to put the grading at an angle, not the Thunderdome, but close. I have seen you can do, let's see. It's absolutely a pain, but it works with these and the mosaic pieces that you put the like flame mosaic things in. If you use like one of these, I think you can use other things. This is just what I figured out. And then you match the angle to a roof, you can build them. It's like angled. So that's what I was going to try to do, because I didn't like the wood in here. All the roofs have like a wood underside, and I really wanted stone. So I'm going to use those, but it's an absolute pain to mess with. The tree is at a depth of 13 double large blocks. Underground garden. Dang. Would you be able to show off combat a bit? Yeah. One sec. You can build a house in a tree or on it, on a floating island. Build one on... Yeah, you can do literally anything. Never like those Easter eggs and like COD where you have to do all these things you'd never do to stumble upon something cool. Like, I feel like you need to add things that people would likely do. Yeah. Did it on a strip of land where you could choose the degree. Yeah, that's the same thing. You just have to find something, some piece that gives you the angle you want. The nice thing about using like this is it's like the angle sort of already almost matches the roof, so it was the same thing, but and then it's a pain in a slow process. So it's once you get the first one placed properly, I don't think it's too horrible, but getting the first one done and then the process of stacking them, it's a process. I haven't found a better way to do it yet, because I felt like I had to use one of these to sort of like do that, and then because of that you can sort of place this next one roughly, but it wasn't very accurate. So I'm trying to find maybe a more consistent way to do it, because the struggle is like it doesn't really allow you to, unless you place these all the way along, like you can't place this next one just to it. You kind of, I've only been able to like do that and then place one under it to match the angle. It's a little weird. I don't know. Pros, cons of the game. Looking at it, just not sure about it. Pros, if you like base building, I don't think there's honestly a better base building game out there at this point. This is all early access as well, so I mean, you're like, everything you see here is not at its final state. Like, we have a long, I'm guessing there's another year of early access. Some point in late 2025 or early 2026, I'm assuming is when it's going to release to full access. So we still have a couple updates before it's even like a full thing. I don't have any arrows, so I can't shoot that, but no, don't let me die. I was trying to show off there's a grappling mechanic, which is really fun. So you can grapple flying enemies to you, or you can pull yourself towards larger enemies, which is a really fun little addition they just added. The combat is both really flexible and not my favorite. I think the fun part about it, that would be the same shit that happened to me, right? That's my specialty, is falling to my death doing stupid stuff. I'm really good at that. Thanks for your attention. Greetings from Russia. Nice. That is my first person from Russia in the stream, as far as I know. That's awesome. I'm amazed at how many people around the world have found this stream. It's crazy. So yeah, as I was saying, it has very good like RPG elements. You can really spec into sort of any class you want. I would say the building styles are, you can be a wand using mage that like stacks damage by using wand attacks. You can be a sword and board, like one-handed weapon and blocking. You can use daggers and be sort of a dex style build. You can like float and fly while you're like, you have like feather fall while using a bow. There's so many skill points. So like a lot of the things, like this is a skill point that you can use. There's like a dash ability. You can use two-handed weapons and be like a tank and do a ton of damage, but you attack really slow. There's daggers. There's one-handed weapons. The bows are really interesting. There's like a beast where you can like summon beasts and stuff, sort of, that I've never even tested and haven't really even seen anyone use. But that one's pretty interesting. You do get loot from enemies and stuff. Typically is not the best. But I think the best items come from like chests and dungeons and stuff. So you go and loot and grab stuff. So there's chests with like legendary items, but in the beginning you'll be getting your items mostly from some of the enemies in the game. Combat's very interesting though. It's not necessarily, so like, I really enjoyed Grounded, if you've ever played or heard of that. It has more of a Dark Souls vibe. Very difficult combat system, where like getting hit is the end of you. And then all about like perfect blocking and stuff. This one's more like, it's hard to say. Like there's so many different styles. It's not super punishing until you get to the bosses. Like I play like a complete moron. I have like a lifesteal heavy build. and like I can just tank everything because of my lifesteal on crit. And then I like using wands to get like ranged enemies. But there's a lot of different combat styles that I think are really interesting. I don't think I've ever been in here. Oh, bats. And the skill tree is, for like a survival game, kind of insane. I can show it off in a sec. Yeah. This is the skill tree. I think there's 145 skill points currently available. So you can spec into, like, I'm like part mage, part run and gun lifesteal, part ranger. There's some really cool like double jump attacks and stuff. There's a lot of really interesting combat mechanics. I wouldn't necessarily say it's like super difficult, but at the same time, like, I find that the combat is either really difficult or really easy. How many what? Sorry. Which one are you asking about? But like the newest boss that they added to the game, incredibly difficult. Like incredibly difficult. I had a very hard time with the boss. I died at so many times when I was first trying it. I had to like look up a guide because I was getting my ass whooped. You can get 145 currently. So the current max level is 35, but in the last update they moved it from 25 to 35, so I can only imagine we're going to go from like 35 to 45 and 45 to 50, or who knows. They haven't told us like what the limit will be, but it could go up to 100. Like we don't know yet since it's still early access, and they're releasing their 2025 roadmap in February, I think. So I think within the next couple weeks, I think we'll get some more teasers on the new update, and we'll also get a roadmap, which is going to be really sick. Because they've talked about adding... They currently have, like, ice in the game is what they just added, but they're going to be adding, and they've already confirmed this, that they'll be adding water mechanics in some way, shape, or form. So you'll be able to build water, not just, like, bake water with ice. There's a lot of really interesting stuff that they're talking about adding. Dude, holy cow, that tree is massive. I didn't even put one next to that. But yeah, I'd watch some videos on it. I think I highly... sorry, very new to this game. Don't even have it. No worries. I enjoy answering questions. Don't feel bad at all. I just want to make sure I'm answering the question you're asking, not just random things that I think. Yeah, I mean, there's like triple shot for rangers. Like whatever you want to play, you can play in this game. You can be an assassin, a tank, a barbarian. Like all the standard RPG game elements have been added into this survival game. That's also the best building game I've ever played in my life. I don't necessarily think the combat or the RPG elements are as good as some of the really good survival and RPG games, but the combination is extremely entertaining, and like the world exploration is incredible. Like I haven't even explored everything in the game. Like I still have random quests and stuff I haven't even touched yet, and I have 450 hours in the game just building pretty much right now. And this is early access, so what is that about a Beastmaster? I don't even know. I don't know anyone that's actually skilled into it. Poison resist, increase damage of your bow attack, damage dealt with daggers, poison damage. I swear there was something on... Yeah, so there's the VUCA, or a beast, I guess. So you essentially befriend them. Yeah, so you can control the VUCA, which are like these bigger version of Ewoks. Wild animals within 50 meters will be pacified. Yeah, so it essentially just befriends, I guess. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Except so far out. And I'm assuming you get more skill points. But the Vuka are interesting. There's wolves, like hogs, pigs, warthogs, whatever you want to call them. Wild boar, that would be. It's like a boar is the much more. That's the correct terminology there. There's a lot of different things. I'm loving this thing. I can't stop looking at it at night. It looks so cool. I want to turn my day and night cycles on more just to look at this more. So sick. Is this growing? Okay. It is growing. Gotta make sure I don't like miss the window. Oh. Is that the window and I can place it? I'll just keep doing that. See what happens. See how big we can make that tree. Definitely gonna have to do a tip on that. This is insane. Alright, the bush doesn't look as cool as I thought it might. Like from some angles, it's okay. I don't love it though. Wishful thinking, you know. I'm alright with that though. Is that blue in the garden? It is the luminescent growth. So at night, it glows. During the day, it doesn't. But that's why I really like it. It fits with a bigger story that I'm working through, which we haven't quite gotten there. But the idea is you really have released the shroud or the corruption, which is what the whole game is based on. Is this corruption taking over the world, and your job is to go and fight it, essentially, and save all these people and villagers and stuff from it. It's in depth. There's a lot of lore behind the story and stuff, but that's essentially the idea. And I've sort of added that corruption to my build in a way that it's slowly taking over, and there's going to be this massive castle that's being eaten by it. It'll be this times 10. Easily times 10. And now I got to figure out how to make this build match that better. Because this looks epic, and this doesn't quite fit the styling enough yet. Too much highly polished stone at the moment. But it looks sick. Quite happy with it. Dude, those trees are huge. I was not expecting those to just get that big. I almost wish they both look good, but they both look good individually, and I want them to look better together, which I think I just want to do more of this dark granite stone that I have back here. What happened there? I just want to do a bit more of the granite at the bottom. There's just slightly too much of the other stuff. What happened there? Oh, is that a floor? Yep. That's easy to do. I've done that so many times where I build into something else I've already built. Like, what the heck? Get what you mean? Yeah. Like, this was, and honestly, like, this entrance is the first thing I built in the game. Like, I built this whole thing and then started experimenting, and I've already learned so much that I'd like to change, and I know now that I'm going to probably rework this whole front in many ways. It'll probably stay roughly the same shape and size, but I want to change the block, the different blocks and stuff. I think I'm going to lean more towards polished granite in these instead of the highly polished, because I want the castle that I'm going to build to be a combination where the bottom is a lot of this dark, and then as you get higher up, it'll get lighter and lighter, and it'll kind of create this contrast between this like evil bottom that's being taken over by this blue luminescent stuff that's down here, and then this lighter sort of palace look, I think. Got a lot to figure out, though. A lot to figure out. That's the struggle. Looks like a hidden monastery or something. Yeah, that's kind of... It was a detail, like I used Petra. If you've ever heard of Petra, is a cool, like, carved rock temple sort of thing. Like, it's literally carved out of, like, sandstone and stuff. It's really cool. I think it's a very interesting build that I sort of used as a reference. Not that it looks anything like that, but that's kind of where I got my inspiration. Yeah, the ruins of Petra, exactly. Never know if anyone... I'm a architect buff, so... If you look it up, you'll probably instantly recognize it. It's pretty well known. But it's literally like a temple entry carved into a mountain. It's really cool. Well, we didn't get very far on this part tonight, but we built a lot of randomness. For the context, so you know sort of what I'm thinking, this is part of the game that the developers built that I built into my base into. So I built these staircases that go down. Everything else was already built. Yeah, it's similar. Perfect. Glad it reads correctly. So the developers built all this, except for these stairs that come down in these little walkways. But it's like part of a quest line, and I built on top of it and then sort of accidentally tunneled into it, building my armory. And I was like, well, this is perfect because I had this story in mind. And so the idea being you loot for the story, you loot this to get this special shield, which releases the shroud or the luminescent growth that I'm using. And then this will go up all the way to the ceiling. It'll like snake and go all over, and then it'll go up into the ceiling, and then that's what is taking over the flame altar, sort of like corrupting the city from within. And then I think it's going to be like corrupting out this way as well at some point. Might like come out around here and then go in and out. I don't know. It's going to be all over. Like that you've got a whole lore in mind for your build. Yeah, that's actually my... I always use storytelling to create, like, I have an architectural background. So I worked in architecture for quite a few years and then switched careers at this point. But I've always used that mindset of like telling a story to create more interesting builds. And so I'm going to actually do a YouTube video here soon that I'm currently scripting out and recording for, talking about how I like create stories to create more interesting builds. Because like none of this is necessary. It's just like me telling an interesting story and like continuing themes throughout a build. So I've always really enjoyed that. And I've always found that like if you've ever seen those builds that are just like insane, like typically those builders have some idea or thought process of like why everything is happening. Just like you go into a bathroom, like you see a toilet and a sink and a shower, and although that's a boring story, it's like a story of how that space is used. You go to the bathroom, you clean yourself, you cleanse yourself, you wash your hands, like those things. And so it's like it can be taken from a very simple concept of simple stories to like exaggerated in this sense to where you use the story to make your build more interesting, more in depth, have more reasoning. So I'm going to be creating a video on that here soon, but it might be another week or two before it's done. We will see. Is this grown yet? I don't think so. Nope. Not yet. You can see how that would be helpful for keeping a build online. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's something, the story, like the idea was always this. It just happened to work better as same name for YouTube. Yes, Timber Builds. That is it. Okay. Link. link it. Need to get some commands set up, but have not had the time. My main content has been on Grounded, but as the Grounded viewership sort of died out, I've been switching to Enshrouded and expanding the games I build in. 'Cause I love building in every game, honestly. Any game that has building mechanics, I love building. I'm disappointed I don't have the ability to go back and get some of the saves from my old computer that exploded and decided it no longer wanted to work. Because I had some really cool Subnautica builds. Stardew Valley, I had a really cool build in with my wife. I had a lot of cool stuff. Grounded was an awesome game. I'm glad they took it as far as they did. Yeah, that is, like, I have a ton of Grounded content. Streams, I built a city in Grounded. We're actually still working on it, but my world is starting to crash because I have so much in it. That I have a city built in the sandbox that takes up the entire thing. Like, it covers every inch of it. There's not a blank spot in it. There's no sand anymore. Which was a really fun build. I've very much enjoyed that. Kind of, it's mostly why I do content, is because of that world. Please do, please do. If you ever heard of the Pagoda base, that was my claim to fame. I've made a lot of content on the Pagoda build. I just did a base build guide on it as well to get people started because so many people have wanted to rebuild it. I'm gonna have to mess with blocks off stream to figure out what the heck I want to do here. This is headed in the right direction, but I'm still not there. Alrighty, well, it is about 11 o'clock here, so I'm going to call it. I have some things I got to think through, and I also have to get up for work in the morning. So I appreciate everyone hanging out for the night. Make sure you check out the YouTube as well if you want to see more build content, because I'm keep adding stuff. We're making videos as much as I can right now with my busy schedule, but wild build. Yeah, the Pagoda, that's like my favorite base I've ever made in the game. But yeah, I appreciate everyone hanging out. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night. I will be back Friday, same time, about 8 o'clock, with more Enshrouded content. So without that, I'll catch you on the guys on the next one. Peace.